Mactintosh turns 40 today, and as a 42-year-old, I'm a bit worried that its best years might be behind it. New Macs and iPads incoming sooner than you think, and America goes crazy for the Vision Pro. Plus, your iCave answers. Want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours? Subscribe and ring the bell. So yes, today is Macintosh's 40th birthday. 24th of January back in 1984 is when it was first properly revealed. The Super Bowl ad was slightly before, but this was the proper reveal day, and it's a very exciting day. You know, the Macintosh is huge for us. How far have we come? We've come to some of the fastest computers on the planet at this point, with the M2 Ultra, the M3 Maxes, M3 Ultra probably on the way pretty soon too. But how much further can we go? We've had the Intel era, we've had the PowerPC era, we had the Motorola era way back at the beginning, and I still think that some of the designs from the original Macintosh are timeless, which is why I built Project 91, which is my M1 Mac Mini inside a classic Macintosh. It's basically the compact Mac that the Macintosh introduced back in 1984, but a slightly newer version of it. But yes, happy birthday, Macintosh. I was hoping to do sort of a documentary type thing, but my goodness, that's a lot of work. But just around the corner, we may have new Macs and iPads incoming a lot sooner than you think. So we've had reports now that Apple's supply chain has got these larger iPad screens on the way. So big 12.9-inch iPad Airs. This would be still with basically the same design that we have right now, still with 60Hz displays, still with LCD displays. This is not going to be like the premium version, but I think we could be looking at this coming in a couple of $100 more than the base iPad Air, which isn't a base model, but you know what I'm saying. Probably with the M2 chips, and I think this is going to be a March or early April event, along with the iPad Pros coming with potentially, it looks like, OLED displays, much more bright, much more vivid. Does this mean the end of Mini LED? Because I don't think we've got it then in anything other than the MacBook Pros, which will probably also get their upgrade fairly soon, maybe in a year or two. But is Mini LED something that Apple tried and considers a failure? I'm not sure. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. But we would be looking at getting, at this event, it looks like iPad Air, MacBook Air, iPad Pro. I would hope for the iPad Mini, because that's the one that I actually want right now, but I'm not sure that that's going to be coming this soon. Then I think we might get our kind of more base iPads, the iPad Mini and the base iPad, in September, along with the new iPhones. That would make more sense to me. But let me know your predictions down in the comments. And America has gone crazy for the Vision Pro. They sold between 160 and 180,000 of these on launch, which is about twice what we were expecting to be available for the launch day. And to put that in perspective, with the price of the Vision Pro, that is around about $680 million in sales, which is pretty good, over $500 million for something that nobody's actually had hands-on with, really, other than a handful of reviewers, and they've not been able to really speak freely about it so far. It's going to be very interesting on the 2nd of February to see what people think of this thing in person. There's around about 300 native apps that will be coming out on day one, which is not bad, to be completely honest, and there's going to be about 1 million apps, which are sort of iPad apps that you will be able to run in a window on your Vision Pro in that spatial computing environment. But I have a feeling that there's quite a lot of developers who are holding off on the apps from day one. The reason is they'll be able to properly test it with the hardware in their own time, as opposed to in very brief developer sessions. And also, if you've got 300 new apps on day one, if you launch a week later when people are kind of getting towards the, I've tried a lot of the stuff that I was interested in, and then something new comes out, they're going to get a lot more attention than trying to compete against 299 other apps on day one. So that would be my strategy if I was a developer. But what is the killer app that you are looking forward to on Vision Pro? Now we're going to get into your iCave answers. We've got some more details on the iPad Pro itself and also on the iPad Air later on. But first question today comes from Team Kinetics.
Team Kinetics Media. Hashtag iCaveAnswers. How do you think Apple will implement AI into iOS 18? I'm guessing far more than just making Siri brighter.
Now, I think it's difficult because AI and machine learning is what already enables all of the image optimization that happens on the iPhones. We have got things like generative fill built into a number of different apps. We've got neural engines in all of these iPhones. It's already being used. So I don't think it's going to be the revolution that people are thinking of. Apple may well have their own large language model. I think we might just find that Siri does a lot more useful things on device, because Apple has always been about trying to keep your data on your device as opposed to sending it off to a cloud like Google does to optimize videos. Apple will do it all on device, and I think that is probably the best way. Because Google has a way of cancelling features whenever they feel like it.
At Evan Rogers, hashtag iCaveAnswers, will both nearsighted and farsighted people need the Zeiss lenses with the AVP?
As far as I understand it, yes. The reason for that is basically you're trying to make sure that your vision is as close as possible to neutral in order to work with Vision Pro. I know a lot of people are going to contact lenses, which if there are contact lenses that you can use, then you haven't got to worry about getting the Zeiss lenses. You are basically correcting your vision before it gets as far as that point. But as far as I understand it, yes, anyone that would normally wear glasses should get lenses or contact lenses to use Apple Vision Pro perfectly.
At Team Kinetics Media, hashtag iCaveAnswers, do you think there will be any limit to the number or total size of virtual screen real estate through Vision Pro? Surely here must be some limit to the combined processor of a Mac and the headset. Or could someone open hundreds of virtual 100 inches monitors, each running some hardware-intense software, until their system grinds to a halt?
My understanding is that it will work in very much the same way that the iPhone does. In terms of the Mac, you can only bring one display up, like one app at a time, from the Mac to your Vision display. But for native apps, as far as I know, you can place as many as you want to within your space, but they'll only be active. They'll basically be suspended while they're not in use. So you won't have like 2 or 3 different videos playing at the same time, and also, you know, everything else going on at the same time, which I think is probably the right choice.
At Team Kinetics Media, hashtag iCaveAnswers, rumors are flying around about a significant price increase for iPad Pro with double-stacked old screens. If the rumors are true, what else might Apple include to make the iPad Pro worth the price? I don't think we need, or will get macOS on an iPad, but could iPadOS be overhauled?
I feel like there is something big coming. I can't understand the idea of having the iPads at the price that has been mooted around, like the 11-inch iPad Pro starting at $1,500 instead of $800, which it is now. That just seems bonkers. Now, the only way that I could imagine this happening, iPadOS doesn't get overhauled at this time of year, so that would definitely be a WWDC thing. That's when we get new versions of iOS. What I could see happening is that the pros are able to run Mac apps, but in a similar way to Catalyst, where you were able to move iPad apps to the Mac, being able to move Mac apps to the iPad. But again, it will be very much up to developers to allow this, I would guess, in the same way that it always has been. So they'll be able to say, no, I don't think this should work on the iPad if it's a terrible experience, for example. What I did wonder is if Apple will bundle the Magic keyboards with the iPads. If the price is going to go up this much, it would make it more of a convertible desktop, laptop, tablet hybrid. But as people have said in the past, they don't tend to do that. Maybe, you know, you could get a full bundle that included your keyboard, your iPad, maybe an Apple Pencil as well, and that might justify the price, but I don't think everyone wants to start at that point, and certainly people don't want to do both at the same time. So unless the keyboard is going to give extra processing power, or I don't know, longer battery life, maybe you put a battery into the keyboard so that you're not carrying all the battery around, I don't know. That's the only concept I could put in my head that might work. But then are we really having an iPad anymore? And that's it for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. It's been a bit of an express one. I didn't fully script this one. It was a little bit more freeform because I just wanted to have a quick chat with you. Recording another podcast tomorrow. Hopefully, fingers crossed, if everything works the way I hope, with a very special guest. So keep your eyes out for that one this weekend for the next aluminium podcast. And you can subscribe to that on audio only if you want to, on Spotify, on Apple Music, on Amazon, or you can just keep joining me here on YouTube. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one. Want the latest Apple news, leaks, and rumours? Subscribe and ring the bell.